The YSL RICO trial started back up today, however it ended early. The new judge seemed confused and not fully understanding the entire trial, leading up to Lil Baby reacting, "It's about time, Thug's coming home. Slime's been in the cell too long, the trial is over, and the judge is crazy." Now, to understand Young Thug's release date, you first need to understand how the entire mess started. It was announced, and I quote, "Judge Glanville had been recused from the YSL RICO trial after Young Thug and his co-defendants petitioned to have him removed. As the judge is officially gone from the YSL RICO trial, this would lead into an announcement of Judge Ingram has been assigned as the new judge in Young Thug's YSL RICO trial. However, lawyers have different opinions on what this truly means.
I smell RICO charges. Judge Glanville has been recused from the YSL trial. This is the order from Judge Rachel Krause granting the motion to recuse Judge Glanville from the case. Now, will this case continue with a new judge taking over midway? I don't think so. I think you have to start from scratch, which means new jury. That new judge is going to have to come up to speed with all of the evidentiary rulings that have happened in this case, and then you start all over again. When is this trial supposed to finish? 2030? It's a damn shame, because this guy probably had a great long career. He was the chief judge in Fulton County. He's a military veteran. He's probably a very accomplished individual, but his legacy will be nothing more than he was extremely biased. He had it out for the defendants.
As the famous rap lawyer believes, the RICO charges against all 15 YSL members are now non-existent. Judge Glanville was at the top of the food chain in the court system, and he even folded in this YSL RICO trial. Lawyers around the world don't believe any judge will be up to the task for this trial, as the famous rap lawyer would go on to explain Young Thug's next move, including on how to get released.
What's next in the YSL case? We have a new judge. Judge Ingram has been assigned the case. You're going to see a couple of motions filed by each of the defendants. First, they're going to file a motion for bond. Second, they're going to file a motion for a mistrial. The bond argument is easy. They're going to argue he's been locked up forever. Now he's going to be locked up for God knows how long is forever. Can we get him a bond? The argument for a mistrial is going to be very interesting. They're going to go to Judge Ingram and they're going to say, Judge Ingram, you're going to have to pick up this case midway. You're going to have to make all these rulings going forward. But before you can do that, you got to read about everything that's happened. You got to read about the court transcript, every line from the longest trial in Georgia history. This is already the longest trial ever. Then you're going to have to read about all the motions, evidentiary objections, pre-trial rulings, in-trial rulings. It's going to take you God knows how long before the trial is ready to resume. And will the jury be ready to resume? They've already been out for weeks.
Only one day later, the second judge would then also leave the case. It would then be announced the new judge assigned to the YSL RICO trial recuses herself after only 2 days on the case, making it now needing a third judge. This would be none other than Judge Page. On her first day of being the new YSL judge, Young Thug's legal team would welcome her by sending in 20 motions for a mistrial or a bond. Due to this, lawyers have predicted Young Thug's lawyers are going to be yelling for a mistrial. Even Kodak Black's lawyer said, "The case and the judge is off the reservation. This is an instant mistrial. I can't believe the judge thinks taking a defense attorney into custody isn't a mistrial," as Judge Glanville thought that it was okay to have Young Thug's defense attorney Brian Steele arrested right in the middle of a courtroom.
Take Mr. Steele into custody, please. Yes, sir, you certainly may. Mr. Williams does not wish to go forward without me being here. You are removing me against his will, my will. You're taking away his right to counsel. And you're conducting material parts of this trial without me present, and I can't learn about it by watching online. So for that reason, additionally, I asked for a mistrial.
As Judge Glanville wanted him arrested because Brian wasn't snitching. The prosecutors were trying to pit evidence against Young Thug for allegedly taking someone's life. However, Brian Steele got intel from a source of his relating to YSL Woody being the guilty one of taking someone out. However, only the judge's corner is supposed to know about that evidence for right now, that it is YSL Woody and not Young Thug. So Judge Glanville would go on to scream at Brian Steele, asking him, "How in the world do you know this?"
Note that for purposes of record. Well, I'm going forward What I was told was that Mr. Copeland said,
and you haven't answered my question yet.
I'm not
How
going
did
to
you
answer that question.
You're not?
No, I will not answer that question.
Why will you not answer that question?
Because I want to make sure that what I say is accurate. And I'm not trying to...
No. I'm asking you, how did you get this information?
I'm not telling the court. What I'm saying is based upon information.
Okay, well, listen, if you don't tell me how you got this information, then you and I are going to have some problems.
We can have this. I have problems right now.
Okay, I know. Look, I don't want to know about your problems. Okay, at this point in time, all I'm asking you at this point in time is, how did you come upon this information? Look, if the case gets reviewed, the record's going to be available for our appellate court and for whatever reason. But it's disturbing that how somehow you have surreptitiously gotten information in regards to the court's private ex parte conversations with a party. I mean,
a witness?
As right here, Brian Steele is standing on business for his client Young Thug, sticking to the literal street code of never snitch, never tell. Sources inside of the courtroom shared that Young Thug was shaking his head up and down, showing that he respects what his lawyer just did. Brian's jail sentence would then be announced, and it reads, Thug's lawyer had been sentenced to 10 weekends in jail, 20 days. He asks that if the appeal doesn't get him a bond, is he allowed to spend those weekends in jail with Young Thug, and the judge agreed. This means that Brian Steele would have been bunkmates with Young Thug on weekends. However, when Brian Steele was arrested, 40 lawyers rushed into the courtroom, being able to save Brian Steele and getting him released from his jail duties. However, the madness does not end here, as reports would come out sharing, and I quote, Young Thug's co-counsel, Keith Adams, just said that he had the same information as Brian Steele, and he has filed for a mistrial. This left hip-hop reporters sharing, the Young Thug YSL trial is in shambles. Surely this is a mistrial within 24 hours. Rappers would even react sharing, give Thug a mistrial and free slime. Now the mistrial will happen for one specific reason, and allow me to explain. It's all based on the prosecutors literally not doing their jobs correctly. It would read, the judge in Thug's trial was just arguing with the state because they were unprepared with evidence.
That's too late. The evidence is excluded. The evidence is excluded. I'm going to exclude because I told you that this was going to happen. No. We're excluding that. This is the last. I am not going to tolerate this any further. If you don't get together with your colleagues and flag issues and resolve them promptly, and if I have to take them up, remember, I can exclude them. We'll work the weekends, or we'll do a combination of both. So this time, I'm going to exclude those two sections.
There's nothing.
I'm not going to have any more discussion about this, madam. I'm not.
Talk to them this morning
I don't.
about that.
Well, you know what?
And I attempted to try to talk to them earlier this week.
Well, then that's why we have to.
You understand the court punishes the state because the defense.
I'm not punishing anybody.
This would then lead into the prosecutors having a meltdown inside of court. It would read, an ex-investigator with the Atlanta police took a stand under cross-examination on Monday. During one moment, former investigator Lakia got into a brief exchange with defense attorney Max.
And D'Angelo White's response was, we had, correct?
Yes, he did say that, and it was more to that as well.
We had guns and
Yes, he stated that.
Okay. We, being plural, correct? Correct?
Are you insulting my intelligence by asking if we means plural? I think you are, though.
Okay.
I think you are.
All right, well,
Sir, don't do that. Don't do that.
All right, sir. Let's be respectful to our witness,
I'm being
okay?
very respectful, Judge, and I always will.
I doubt it.
As the Atlanta police are trying to lie about evidence on Young Thug, as the judge would then call out Young Thug's attorney for stating that the Atlanta police lie about evidence because this would jeopardize his entire career.
Well,
Not conceding that?
Well, I'm going to tell you that I haven't heard anything that would indicate that's truth.
Yeah, well,
you have a good faith basis to ask that.
You haven't heard anything of who he spoke with. That's my point.
That's the point.
But you all can't. But you two, neither one of you can proffer that.
Judge.
It's not proper, Mr. Steele.
No. Listen.
It's not. It would be a violation before me for you to put that in front of this jury.
In the September 17, 2000.
You are saying to the court that you have a belief that there is another statement out there. There's not.
Why
say that?
Because it hasn't been brought up. If it gets brought up, then we'll correct it at that point in time. But right now, I'm going to direct you not to inquire that line. You don't have a basis to do so.
As the evidence that they are discussing is based around Adrian Bean. The Atlanta police are trying to use evidence against Thug that Adrian told them in 2013. However, Adrian now says he doesn't remember giving them it. The original report reads, unlike Trontavious Stevens, Adrian is not bound by a plea deal. He was a part of a 2013 crime where 4 were involved but 1 escaped and was never caught. They need Bean to snitch on Thug. He was the one that escaped. However, now he forgot about the crime, which saves young Thug.
After you answer the question, which you have to do.
Because I don't remember nothing that happened in 2013. That's what I'm trying to explain to you.
I understand. What I have to do is ask you some questions and determine what you do and don't remember. So, what is your response as to whether or not you recognize the images shown in Defendant's Exhibit number 8?
I don't remember.
All right. And I'm going to show you Defendant's Exhibit number 81. Do you recognize what's shown there?
No, ma'am.
All right. What about number 101 for Defendant Exhibits?
You see a car, but I don't remember it.
Okay, that's fine. Is your answer the same for Defendant's Exhibit number 82, number 89, and Defendant's Exhibit 90?
Yes, ma'am. I really don't have any knowledge about 2013, ma'am. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. I don't really have any knowledge about 2013. Once I had went to prison and came home from prison and done my time, everything that happened in 2013 or whatever has been put behind me and set forth. So I've been, working and just doing my thing since I came home from prison. I don't have no knowledge of nothing that happened 10 years ago.